It's Friday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. It's only 4 p.m. in the West Coast. But Steps is here. Zod Rider has made it today.
We've got less than an hour because Glenn is starting at what? Isn't he starting at 55 after the hour
Well,
today?
he's got a countdown and an intro song and all that. So as we
Okay.
my cutoff is 8 o'clock, Zod Rider. I'm sticking to it. Oh, Ricardo, welcome, man. Good to see you. Good to
What's up,
see
Ricardo?
you. Hope you're enjoying your McDonald's that you were talking to me about earlier. Oh, man. They got Pokemon over at the McDonald's. Not that I care, but some people are into Pokemon. They like Pokemon and Pokemon cards.
Who could afford McDonald's nowadays? I'd rather just,
They're not too bad. I think it's $1.50 for a drink there, which is like one of the cheaper places to get a soda, actually. But they don't give you free refills. They cut those out. I don't know if you knew that. They remodeled
of course they cut those out.
Cut out the free refills, and they replaced all the people with terminal screens and all that. Good to see you, Gabriel Gray. Good to see you.
Okay.
Wider would be nicer. Well, then get your friends in here to vote. Oh, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. It's always rough when you start out a stream, because hey, people start trickling in. How's been your week, Zod?
It's been good. It's been productive.
Yeah, how's the movie going?
It's going well.
Yeah, that's not much to go off there. Eh?
I'm really excited. I can't wait for everybody to see it. I'm making so much progress from day to day that I'm just getting really, really hyped. So I'm happy.
It was Gabriel Gray's birthday this week, so
Awesome.
I want to wish Gabriel Gray a happy birthday or belated birthday, and all of that. Gamer Fridge, I hate CRTs too.
Well, I mean, who wants to care for a CRT at this point? That's the whole crux of the argument. I mean, you get a CRT, you got to worry about the maintenance of it, you got to worry about it breaking down, and they're getting harder to come by.
Now, yeah, we'll get into CRTs, man. We got like 3 things to really talk about. One I don't have any clips of. That's the Michael B stream with John D. And who else was on that? Bobby Vu. And let's see, D-Mac. And then the surprise appearance from their shipping guy, the head shipping guy over for Iconic Arcade. And he announced that the Street Fighter 2 Iconic Arcade and the Alpha 2 are on pre-order now in Canada, and they're selling it for the exact same price minus the conversion rate. So it's like $1,000 in Canada because their currency is worth crap right now. And so people like Gabriel Gray, who live in Canada, could get the machine and pre-order it right now.
Well, isn't that nice?
Gabriel Gray, you're about my age. I'm not there yet, but I'm pretty damn close. Yeah. I know you had a health scare a couple of years ago. I'm so glad that you're still around and with us, man. Yeah, you could pre-order it as of Monday, as of Michael B's stream in Canada. It is available, and it doesn't cost any shipping if you pre-order it in Canada. They found some way to make the shipping work. And they also said that they have a partnership with the Brick in Canada.
Well, that means that it has a chance of being a rousing success because if you have been following Michael B long enough, you know that the Brick is the place in Canada when it comes to this stuff. So
it sounds like it, man. He's always like, I bought it at the Brick. They had it on sale. I'm sure he pre-ordered the key, or he will pre-order the cabinet, though. He won't even mess with the Brick, probably. He'll just probably make sure he gets it. His name was Kevin.
Oh, yes. Are you kidding? I mean, John D's probably gonna send it directly to him. I mean,
it was so. What was really interesting to me about that stream is that Kevin, who's an amazing guy, obviously everybody loved him, and he obviously really loves the hobby. He has a huge passion for home arcade. He's really excited to be able to offer these iconic arcades. It sounds like he's got his hands in it quite a bit. And you're friends with SFS. What's that, SFS? So I get them even cheaper. Is that something to do with Spreetail? Because that's a distributor, man.
Well, I will say that that's a great thing. That's a great thing. You know, you can get that discount. I mean, hey, whatever works, man. Every little bit helps in this wild economy. I'm telling you.
Yes, and it's gonna get worse. It was already bad, and I don't think any president could save it. It's AI and all the companies cutting costs, and man, everything is just not good right now. I'm hoping we see some changes, but I think there's going to be more and more jobs lost each year as AI continues to develop. Back to Kevin from Spreetail. Okay, so I thought it was cool he came on. I liked him. He's got a winning personality, but like he dominated that show. I know you didn't see it, Zodwriter, but that guy dominated that conversation. When I turned that on, I'm like, okay, I want to hear from D-Mac and Bobby and John, especially John, you know, because John only makes limited appearances anymore. But Kevin showed up, and Kevin, man, he took the bulk of the questioning. And Michael B promised he was going to ask the hard-hitting questions. I don't think he really did. I really felt like they were all pretty softball. And nice.
Well, listen. Michael B is not somebody who's known for hardball questions.
Yeah.
If you're expecting Michael B to come out and give hardball questions, you're watching the wrong guy. Michael B is at the top of the heap as far as connected people in our small community. Everybody knows it. There's no denying it. Okay, he's part of Media One Chapter Canada, guaranteed. There's no doubt about that. So if you're expecting hard hitting questions from Michael B, see now if you would have said,
he said that I'm going to ask hard hitting questions.
No. See, this is why to this day, you know, John D won't come on late night Q&A with Zodwriter because he knows I'm going to ask him the hard questions. He knows I'm going to ask him the hard questions. And that's the thing. There's questions that these people are not going to want to ask. Now, I will admit, I have a little bit of a bias now because I really do like these guys. So I'm not sure that if I did get him on late night Q&A, that I would be any harder on him than Michael B, because in reality, I just want to see the company succeed. I think that, you know, he's got a lot of heart and he's got a lot of ideas that they want to put forth with that company. But to be honest with you, I would never expect Michael B, of all people, to, you know, ask hardball questions. That's just completely out of the realm of reality here.
See, I would have flat out asked him. There's no way I would not have asked him this. I'm like, why are there so many similarities between you and this project and what you were doing at Arcade 1-Up?
I can even answer that. Everybody can answer that because it's the same people involved. Okay, it's the same. all he did was he took the same people. He took the people with him who helped design and come up with all this stuff. He took it over here, and now he's just adding his own little spin on it. I mean, it's even got 1-Up in the name. They didn't even change that part of it.
And it's the 1-Up show, and the cabinets made exactly the same. There's just so many.
I mean, I know you remember, you know, Justin Console Kits and Retro Ralph when they used to do the 1-Up weekly. I know you remember that. I know that because that's how I encountered John D and all of them from when, you know, I kind of criticized the 1-Up weekly a little bit back in the day because of the way Retro Ralph and Console Kits were promoting 1-Up products at that time. But here we are now, and it's essentially Arcade 1-Up 2.0. That's essentially what this is. But I think it's in a good way because he took the people that were responsible for some of the best ideas, and now he's making those adjustments for Media 1-Up and you and I both know, because you and I both, pre-ordered the Street Fighter 2 cabinet. That's not, it's not because we don't, we think it's necessarily going to be like head and shoulders above Arcade 1-Up, but it's just like, no, you want to support the people that have good intentions and are making good products for this community, right? It's not about whether or not it's how much better than 1-Up is it going to be. I don't really know. I mean, as far as I know, it's just a Pi. It's an underpowered Pi 5 in a big case. That's what it is.
I don't have a problem with the interview. I like the people on it. It was a fun interview. I watched the whole thing. Jim, the Pacers fan, who's probably from the same town I'm in, because I'm in Indianapolis. I honestly, I just was like, he promised hard-hitting questions. I don't feel that we got them, so I'm gonna call it out.
You're not gonna get those. Listen. If you know what? I will ask John D again. I will ask him again. I will say.
He already said. Wait, hold on. You missed the stream. He's not doing any more interviews. He's only sending. He's sending To Die For and DMAC, which you know, To Die For and DMAC. I told To Die For. I go, I want you to come on when I do a stream with these Street Fighter guys closer to the time it comes out. I think that would be cool.
Listen, I've interviewed Bobby before. Bobby is great in every way. I would definitely love to talk to Bobby now that he finally got a position with an actual company that is putting out this stuff for the community. That's gonna be wonderful. And DMAC seems like a fine young gentleman as well. So to me, if John D is going to defer to other people, that's probably a good thing, because Media 1-Up is his company, right? So the CEO shouldn't be out there doing all the interviews and doing all of the talking.
I think it's really smart
people for that,
because he always got himself in trouble, and I
don't think he can get himself in trouble with Media 1-Up though, because it's his company. Yeah. So he's got to be a little more careful, right? And in that regard, so it makes sense that he's got people like Bobby, whose enthusiasm is off the
charge of technical support and questions.
God, yes. You can't ask for better. You couldn't ask for better. Bobby will tell you what to do. Bobby will get it done. It's going to be great. Yeah, I agree with Chris here. John D will be successful. No question. Because
I don't doubt any of that. I was not trying to slam anything. I was just trying to say, hey, these aren't really hard-hitting questions. There's so many questions here that are obvious, but I would think about that you should ask. And I know you said Michael B's not going to do that. I get it.
Well, yeah, I keep looking at you saying, if you actually thought Michael B was going to ask the hard questions, I don't know what to tell you. Where have you been all these years? Michael B is not going to do that. Please, Michael B. Maybe if it was a company that he wasn't, embedded with in some way, he would be objective. But I don't think that that's possible, knowing who Michael B is. And I'm not saying that as a negative. I'm just saying that that's just the reality of the situation. I mean, come on.
KFB,
you want somebody to be objective, you get Rexer in there. He'll be objective. You want somebody to ask the hard-hitting questions.
Man, he's a little too far the other way. It's like it's just like politics. Do you want this one or this one? How about somebody in the middle?
but see, I don't know. I think if you got, this is the thing. I think in that regard, I think that would be one of the greatest interviews of all time. If for the home arcade community, if they got Rexer to interview John D, that would be insane.
I agree. Everybody would tune into that crowd.
Dude, you would get the entire home arcade community. You would get people who left the home arcade community to come back just to watch that interview, because it would just be so bizarro world crazy. That would be insane, and it would be awesome, and I would be here for it.
I know that there was at least an attempt to invite him to the room in Vegas. I don't know if John D said, yeah, invite him or don't invite him, or if Rexer would have just flat out said no anyway, or if he did. But like that would have been really interesting. That would have been really interesting, just for the entertainment value, more than anything.
I mean, come on. I mean, if you want somebody who is going to, and I get what you're saying, that he's too far to the other way, but my thing is this: if you get Rexer to actually seriously sit down and interview John D, I think you'd have a hell of an interview. I think it'd be great.
Yeah. I think so. So the hard hitting questions. I like I said earlier. I think
there's your hard hitting questions. There you go.
I would have asked more moderate. I mean, I would have been more, in the middle. But I definitely would have asked why. Why do you? Well, the other question is. So I said, why are there so many similarities to your previous? But the other question to me is crap. Now my brain took a big huge dive. What did you learn from Arcade 1-Up that you don't want to do with your new company? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I would have asked just stuff like that, because like those are more hard-hitting questions than when is this going to be available in Canada? And they're like, today, let me bring on Kevin, our shipping expert. And then he talked. He's a great guy. I think they should do a stream.
I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit for the Canadian people in the home arcade community. That really was a hard-hitting question, because they need to know when they can pre-order this product.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. But if it becomes part of the United States, then it won't be an issue. That's not happening, I know. Anyway, so what else is going on here? You Ain't Alone, Homie. MK Trilogy was my first MK game, and your first N64 game. Yeah, I had the PlayStation version of MK Trilogy. Not that I was ever any good at Mortal Kombat, just not the case. MK Trilogy.
I'll tell you right now, the best version of MK Trilogy y'all could play, I've said this before, is Ultimate Mortal Kombat Trilogy for Sega Genesis. It is insane. It is the greatest.
It's like a remake.
It's like a remake port hack of, like, say, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and they just threw everybody in there, and it is insanely fun. It is so great. I mean, wow.
So far, we got 19 votes on do you care if the iconic arcade Street Fighter gets wider, and it's 74% or 75% say no.
I mean, if you're limited on space, having something that's wider is not necessarily a good idea. I don't even know how I could get it through the door if it was any wider.
Let me air this clip of 19K Fox talking about getting the cabinet wider. We could talk more about this.
It is award-winning for sure. I mean, as evidenced by this picture. But I think that doesn't mean that this thing is locked down. I think that we could absolutely see this thing go a little bit wider. And I think that we should make it a little bit wider. I think that if we're talking about, at the end of the day, emulation is emulation. You can play these games a lot of different ways. We've heard all that complaints before. We've seen a lot of these games in other cabinets before. To really set this thing apart, to make this thing the most optimal experience possible for this type of form factor, this style of cabinet, I think that the biggest thing they could do, if we're stuck with those controls and all that, and that's fine, 19 inches as big as we can go, okay, I really think that this cabinet should absolutely get wider. And I think that is going to make a lot of people, maybe who are hesitant, maybe who are waiting to kind of hit the button and hit the pre-order button and get this thing, I think it's going to make a lot of us make our decision sooner rather than later.
Okay,
that was overly dramatic, and I just want to say this: if you make it wider or you make it too much wider, I'm canceling my damn pre-order. Let me just put it that way, okay? This is a 3/4 scale arcade. This is an arcade. This is for the home. This isn't for Galloping Ghost. This isn't for a laundromat or some sort of like like business establishment. This is for your home. Like, what the hell, man? Do all these people live in like giant mansions? Do they all live in like I don't know. I mean, can you explain this to me? I mean, I don't understand.
Well, it's funny because, well, you got to see all the cabinets behind him are real, right? They're all real. None of them are one-ups. He sold all his one-ups. So it's interesting that he's willing to get down with this. Obviously, he's part of the Illuminati. For me personally, and one of the things he said that got me a little triggered, and he's the Bob Vila home arcade. Everybody loves him. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great guy, but like when he was talking about it, he goes, emulation, there's a million things that do this. Emulation doesn't really matter. The number one thing that'll sell this cabinet is that it needs to be wider. And I'm like,
no,
not for me. But see, there's some people like him or like Michael B or whoever that might just want to stare at it and look at it and not actually play it. I don't know. But to me, the fact that it plays is most important, first off. Then we're gonna go to the quality of everything after that.
Well, I mean, the Evercade Alpha plays too. I mean, same games. I mean, you want something, you know. Yeah. I agree, Rexer, 100%. That's what I'm talking about. Where was all the when has he ever used the word wider in association with arcade one-ups?
Dude, I was just a 1-minute clip. He talked about it being wider for 20 minutes. I can't air that whole 20 minutes of him talking about the cabinet.
No. But
he's really smooth.
Rexer,
he was able to have that conversation.
Saying here.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Like, what are we talking about here? So now, because Media One-Up is running the table now we're worried about it being wider. That was something that probably could have gotten done with Arcade One-Up if enough people would have made those statements. But we never heard that with Arcade One-Up. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, Arcade One-Up actually could have benefited from their, decks being a little bit wider. In fact, the only deck that I think they actually did right was the 2-player countercade, where everybody made fun of it and called it a flotation device, when in reality, it was wider. Was it not wider, Steps? Is it not wider? The 2-player countercades, like the Mortal Kombat 2 countercade with the big.
You say flotation device, I'm thinking of that couchcade with the.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I can see somebody floating out at sea holding on to that.
That was bad. That's bad too. That was bad design all the way around.
I don't think they're bringing that back at Media One-Up.
Oh my God!
I think the couchcade is gone.
The couchcade, and they don't have the Pac-Man license anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. That's what the couchcade was, right? Wasn't couchcade Pac-Man?
I think Pac-Man and Atari, maybe there was 2 of them.
They don't have the rights, so you'll never get anything like that. They're not going to make a Street Fighter 2 couchcade. They're not going to do that.
No, they're not. That's dumb. So, yeah, we don't have to worry about that. But
I mean, imagine a couchcade with a Raspberry Pi 5 in it. Well, one thing I can say about that is it'd be a hell of a lot cheaper than the model that they're selling now. They should put out a console.
Well, the other thing that 19K Fox is talking about is like, if we make the deck wider, then the bezels are going to get wider. And I'm like,
he just wants. The thing is, he just. You know what? I love Fox. Fox is awesome. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying is, I know what he wants. He wants to be able to put that Unico 26-inch monitor in that Street Fighter cabinet. That's what he wants to do. That's what he's talking about. That's why he's talking about wider. It's not so much the deck as it is he wants it wider so he can fit that monitor in there, because remember earlier in that clip you showed, he said the 19-inch, 19 inches as big as we can get. Yeah. Remember he said that. So it's the 19-inch. So it's the fact that the monitor can't get any bigger than 19-inch.
Yeah, so that's I actually agree with the Rexer show here. Like I said, I think he's too far one way on a lot of things, but like this is fact.
No,
We don't care about single UI.
I
We don't care
think
about online. We don't care.
I want Rexer. I want to see Rexer interview John D, and they should make it pay-per-view, and we'll all pay for. We would all pay for it. I guarantee we would all pay for it.
He'd
to
probably
see
make
Rexer.
more money than selling the cabinets.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? You get it, and here's the thing: it's pay-per-view, and John D and Rexer have got to be in the same room. They got to be sitting across from each other, like you know,
with Kev Gret as the moderator.
No. You don't get Kev Gret as the moderator. You can have anybody you want be the moderator. You could have
Damien deal with it.
You can have him. No. I'm saying you can have Bobby. You can have Bobby Vu be the moderator. It doesn't matter who the moderator is. You just got to get those two together in a room, and you got to get Rexer to ask all the hardball questions, and it would be the greatest interview in home arcade history. I'm telling you right now. It's a money maker. It's a money maker, man. That's a money maker. That is a money maker for the community. That you would not believe. It'd be insane. So many of us would just be watching with our mouths agape for the entire interview, like, "Why? I can't believe this is actually happening."
Yeah, for me, it was like when he said the emulation doesn't matter. There's a million other devices that did. I know there's a million other devices that play it, but there are limited experiences. Fightcade obviously does all these games online, which is a great way to play these.
And that's not a limited experience, and it's free.
Yeah,
free is never limited. You can everybody can do it. Anybody who wants to.
The PS4 version does not have Alpha 2 online, right? It doesn't. It's just different. So there's a good selection of games. I'd like to see the games emulated well, because there's people in this community that like to sit in an arcade and play these games like they're actually at the arcade and go into that make-believe zone for a while and enjoy the game that way. And so to me, like, if I'm spending that much money on it, the game being able to play well is, to me, number one. Now, that's not the case for some people. Some people want this for looks. They don't want it to play. They want that nostalgia feeling when they walk into the arcade. They have all these machines.
If you just want to be able to play, I recommend you get an X arcade, because you can't beat those controls. I had to postpone my review. I'm doing it tomorrow, my live stream, and I have to say, you guys, if you just want a nice playing experience with any of these games, that's the way to go. If it's not about the look, if it's not about the aesthetic of,
it looks really nice. I'm really impressed with what I've seen. And I think it looks really cool with the VR and everything. And I made a community post about how many different videos you could make if you had one, because there's an insane amount of different content that you could do with it.
I say this with the utmost honesty and respect. This X arcade control deck on this all metal pedestal is the greatest home arcade product I think I've seen in a long, long time, just because of the fact that the compatibility is so wide range, and there's never really been anything like that that's so compatible with so many different. Of course, you have to have all the various different adapters and stuff, but the reality is,
a time where we must say, and be fair, Zod Rider, you are an X arcade influencer.
Exactly. At this point, I am, and I will say that
you're clear, because I don't want people on my channel thinking like
I'm very happy. I'm very happy to be an X arcade influencer at this point, because they make phenomenal products, and the proof is in the product itself, the construction, made right in the United States of America too, by the way. Oh, and I gotta agree with
I agree. It has to have quality to back it up. And I realize that there's some things you have to sacrifice to get a good price point.
I am B Kirby.
You
B
can't
Kirby,
change
I am an
things.
X Arcade shill right now. You are damn right, because this is a quality product, bro. It's quality. It's quality, bro.
Hold on, we got a super chat. We got a super chat.
Diabetes. There are more people obey these simple rules. Diabetes. I promise you, diabetes. I'm surrounded by diabetes. Thanks for your time. Have a good diabetes.
Have a good diabetes. Thank you, KFB, for the super chat. X Arcade is quality. Biggie D. Reaction show. I still have my X Arcade tank stick. Is better than any of this junk counter arcade crap is being sold. It's good stuff. I could tell.
And it has Glenn's. It has
Trackball.
some of Glenn's components in it. That trackball. Oh my God!
God Rider, are you a member of the Glenuminati?
It's the smoothest trackball experience I've ever had in my life, to be honest with you. Oh my God. Just I mean, but that's for people that don't need to have replicas of the actual arcade machine. If you don't need a replica Street Fighter, you don't need a replica of this, that, or the other, and you just want to play the games like you keep saying, Steps, about just playing the games, that's the way to go.
Let me ask you a hard-hitting question.
Go ahead.
Awesome. Do you think the narrative of the cabinet being wider was started by the community, 19K Fox, or John D / somebody at Media One Up?
I honestly think that this is something that 19K Fox actually wants, to tell you the truth. I think he just wants it to be wider because he has real arcade cabinets.
Yeah, that makes sense. The other thing I was concerned about is like maybe they want to say, "Hey, community, we got you the cabinet wider, but we didn't get you those sticks and buttons." You know what I mean? So I don't know. I kind of think about things like that. The sticks and buttons are not a selling point for me at this point. I gave up on those a long time ago. We already know where I'm at.
You're no stranger to changing out your sticks and buttons. You've done it. So it's not like to you that's a problem. But for someone like me, I don't want to change out sticks and buttons. I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to. And that's what I love about, the X Arcade. I'm not going to switch out these sticks or buttons or this trackball from Glenn, because it's quality components. And that's all you need in these machines. You just need quality components and people will play them. And
that's what I got here on my iArcade with the Glenn's Retro Show deck and all of that.
Yeah, you just got so you and I are both very much in Glenn's camp, and that's a I have to say,
I pre-ordered the Viper board for the iArcade, so I'll probably get it 6 months from now. But at least I got it, so now I could say like, "Hey, I got everything on my iArcade." So I'm looking.
I'm
looking forward to that. It made sense. I loved my iArcade, and that's like one of the things when you said you got the X Arcade. I'm like, well, I got the iArcade. It's doing that for me, so I think I'm good. But wait.
So we're doing the alphabet here. We got the iArcade over here, the X Arcade. I still got my iArcade. I just haven't modified it.
Yeah.
And now, because I have this and I have it connected to my Bobby Sarah, I probably never will modify the iArcade. For what purpose?
You can watch it back, man. That's the good news. It'll be up here. He likes his full-size cabinets. He does. But you see, here's the thing, like he sold every single one of his one-ups and said that he wouldn't want them anymore. And they got real cabinets, and now he's kind of going backwards, which, I'm fine with. I get it, because I kind of go backwards. I'm like, hey, it's Street Fighter, I'm down. If honestly, if Iconic Arcade said I'm releasing Pac-Man, I'd be like, I don't care. I didn't buy a Pac-Man to begin with. You know what I mean? But I like Street Fighter. Whether I'm good at it or not, it's another thing. But I like Street Fighter.
The moment I realized that I was in arcade heaven with this X Arcade was when I loaded up on the Bobby Sarah. I loaded up Centipede, and I was using the trackball to play, and I was just so I felt like a kid again. Like this is like going back to what Rexer was saying about my excitement talking about this. It's like I felt like I was a kid in the 80s going and being able to experience the game the way it was originally meant to be played. And
I understand that because I have the Centipede on my iArcade with the Glenn trackball, and it's smooth. It's
then
better
you
than
know
if I went to the arcade.
then you know exactly what I'm talking about. The arcade in the arcade, it's always the trackball is always wonky because it probably needs to be replaced because it's old and whatever. But when you play it on here, it's like you're getting fresh out of the box experience. It's beautiful. It literally brought a tear to my eye, and I'm going to mention that tomorrow because I felt like I was being transported back. This is why I'm so excited about being able to use it like in virtual reality too. Because when Half Deck's arcade time capsule version 3.0 comes out, I'm gonna be able to use the X arcade with it and be able to play all these cabinets, with these authentic controls. It's just going to be like it's going to be like having Galloping Ghost in my little ass apartment. So I'm really excited. And I can't say that about any of these other home arcade products.
Foreplay edition.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I think that would be a great.
You need to sell it to Michael B. He doesn't have any of that stuff, or Zod Rider, or somebody like that needs it. Zod Rider's too enamored by his X arcade, though. I bet you that would work if you plug it into the mystery encoder board with the USB.
Yeah, it would. You could plug it into everything, and you just have to with the X arcade. You just have to plug it directly into whatever unit you're plugging it into. You can't plug it in to like a hub because it uses too much power and it won't recognize it correctly. But as long as you plug it directly into whatever you're using, it's a flawless experience.
Man, I've never seen anybody as excited as you are about your X arcade. That's pretty awesome. I don't know. The Illuminati are pretty good at putting on a show, right? They're pretty good.
Wow, you have a real one, Pitbull? That's amazing. Yeah, but this feels like the real thing. I'm telling you, Glenn, I put his heart into this trackball. This trackball is no joke. I have to admit. And I'm not even a fan of like Golden Tee and all that stuff. And I was playing Golden Tee because I have because of the trackball. And I'm like, this trackball's incredible. I don't know.
I'm starting another survey. There you go. It's a question about X Arcade. There you go. Are you interested in using the X Arcade in VR?
Oh God. No God, yes.
Which VR do you have? You have the MetaQuest?
I have the Quest, the MetaQuest 3.
Mm-hmm.
Not the MetaQuest 3S or the 2 or any of the other products. I have 3. 3 is the best one, yes. Mm-hmm. And I have to say that I'm not really enthusiastic about X Arcade's VR software that they have right now, but I know what I'm going to use this deck for in VR. I know exactly what I'm waiting for, which is the 3.0 of the arcade time capsule. I am so excited.
The wall scroll I used to have for Iron Maiden, it's over there on the other side now. And then I was going to put this bookshelf here that it's been sitting here over a month that I have not built. Yep, that's what's going on there. That bookshelf is not built and it's sitting there and and the boxes are propping up my 8-bit do arcade stick, which I had to upgrade the buttons and stick for, but I love it. It's great, I don't need to get it. We don't need to.
How much did it cost to upgrade the buttons and sticks on the 8-bit do?
Well, I had a gift card in my account for some reason, so I didn't pay anything really. I got the 8-bit do on a stream from Chaotic Stream. I won it from Jason Little Alien, and then I used a gift card that was on my account to buy that stuff. It was probably like $50 for a set. I don't know, but I had a gift card. So really, I didn't pay anything for that.
What James hates everything is saying here is is the key. This is what's going to happen. This is the point. There you go.
So if I'm playing the arcades in VR and I use the X Arcade deck to play the arcades, why would I ever need any arcades anymore?
That's the point. You need not. You need not. And we can all play them together. You need not. That's the point. I rest my case. I rest my case. I'm literally sitting here like the benefits of the X Arcade are just oozing. You know, and there's just so many benefits to this thing. It's compatible with everything, and not only that, you can do it in VR, and you can just, oh my god, it's so incredible, so incredible.
How much does X Arcade start at? Isn't it like $500?
X Arcade is $500. Yeah, $499.99
for the VR one. There's
well,
like,
for the X Arcade, you know, VR. The one that I'm reviewing tomorrow, yeah, it's
not just VR. It's VR plus anything you want to plug it into.
And they're also doing, like James is saying over here, $299 just for the deck, and they're gonna do a bundle. You know, they got a bundle going too. Yeah, yep. All that. I mean, even if you just got the deck, it's cool. But to me, having it on the pedestal like that. Oh my god. And you're literally standing, and you can adjust the height of it, so you can stand up, you can sit down, you can kneel down, however you want to play your arcades. And when you're in VR, that's going to be fantastic because, you know, and it's on wheels, so you can move it around. Listen,
yeah, that sounds pretty dope. Sounds like we're gonna be the X Arcade stream.
I'm an ex-Arcadian. I'll say that right now.
An ex-Arcadian. You better go get that right now, before somebody else takes it.
I'm an ex-Arcadian.
Oh man! So I got a new character I want to debut on the show. I have a little clip, and then we could talk about the other subject matter from today. I think we're gonna have a fun time. We'll see if people think it's funny or if it's terrible. If it's terrible, let me know. Here we go. Here he comes, the Boomer Home Arcade Man.
What kind of lame show is this, Steps Gaming? Like step on you like a bug? Like walk up them steps? Lame. What kind of woke-ass name is Zod Rider? What the hell is a Zod anyway? Why don't you get rid of this Zod idiot and bring back Papa Brad? That's a guy I could get behind. That guy likes the best games by Atari, like Pong. We don't need no Mortal Kombat or no Street Fighter. Bring back the classics, like Pong, Super Breakout, and Missile Command. Don't get me started on that Galaga Guy.
The main thing was the monitor. I'm like, it's not a CRT. Like, I'll jump on it right now because I hate CRTs.
Don't like them CRT monitors? Back in my day, we would play with the black CRT screen with a tiny white dot on the screen. You have a cool name like Galaga Guy, but you had to go get woke and get an LCD monitor in your classic arcade. Shame!
Anyway, I don't know. I found it funny.
Yeah.
I saw you laughing when the Zod Rider part came up.
It was pretty funny, I have to say. Pretty funny.
Hopefully I didn't piss you off. I was just like, I think Zod don't think it's funny. I'm just gonna go in it.
No, I have a good humor for all this stuff. You got to remember, you're talking to the guy who wrote the AI Home Arcade Chronicles, and I made fun of everybody. Remember that? I made fun of everyone. So yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it did say LCDs are woke.
LCDs are woke.
Boomer Home Arcade Man calls anything that's not his style woke. That's just his style.
No, and, you know, in actuality, LCDs are just slimmer and way less than CRTs, and are a lot easier to manage and replace.
I just imagined that a Boomer Home Arcade fan would probably be only somebody that would really like, because they would have been born in like what, the 50s. So they probably played like Pong and Breakout and stuff like that.
Well, they played everything probably up until like
Yeah.
maybe the 80s, the early 80s, and then they stopped.
Yeah, no. So I guess we'll see. Should Boomer Home Arcade Man make another appearance? I don't know. We'll see. CRTs though. See, the thing is, I love, like, if I go to a real arcade, I get if it's in your house, you don't want a CRT. I get Galaga Guy's point there, but like if I go to a real arcade and have LCDs, I'm like, oh, this just ruins it.
And I could just go home then. That's what I would be. If I walked into Galloping Ghost and all their arcade machines, the screens were replaced with LCDs, I would walk out. I would just go home. Because the reality is you could play all that stuff at home. Home arcade, you get LCDs. You go to a real arcade or you go in VR and you're actually looking at CRTs. So
you go to Galloping Ghost, they don't have LCDs in their machines. They just don't.
No, it's time. It would be time to move on.
They fix their CRTs, but there's arcades I've been to where I'm like, you go look at the Ninja Turtles and it's like a widescreen LCD, and I'm like, you ruined it. That's what I thought. Like, you ruined it. If I don't see Boomer Man next week, I'm on subbing. I guess that means Kevgren like the Boomer Home Arcade Man. I don't know, man. I was listening to this show about roller coasters and they had these different characters, and I go, what kind of character can I put on a home arcade show? And I was like, I don't know. And I go, Boomer Home Arcade Man, let's try it. And it was so hard because, like, it's hard for me to, like, I was coughing because I had to, like, bring out like that old deep, like, elderly man. And I'm like, oh. It was hard, man.
Emphysema.
Zod, don't stay up too late tonight. Remember, we have breakfast tomorrow. Oh, what time is Nostalgia Power?
Oh yeah, Nostalgia Power. That's 9 a.m. Central time.
9 a.m. That's early, man.
Yeah, we do Nostalgia Power really early, but we don't do Nostalgia Power every week though. So I just set my alarm. Yeah, it's Mike Worley's channel.
Yeah, I could probably, when I head over to work, I could probably listen to it. I usually leave the house and start heading to doing my Instacarting at 10. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, well, you probably like it. We always talk about a lot of fun stuff on there, a lot of nostalgia based content. So
you got a lot of stuff tomorrow going on. You actually, in 24 hours, you're doing a lot. You're doing this stream, then you're doing Nostalgia Power, then you're doing the X Arcade. I was tuned into your channel waiting for that X Arcade review last week, and I was like, and then I sent the link to several people, and they messaged me back. They go, "Oh, it's next week," and I'm like, "Damn it! Why am I sitting here?"
Yeah, I had to change it because of some stuff that came up last week, but but I'm committed to it tomorrow because I really want to talk about it. Plus, I love X Arcade and the people. And again, when they were interviewed on Glenn's channel a couple weeks back, I mean, that was amazing. I was like, man, these are some of the nicest freaking people. I cannot wait to talk about this product. Plus, it's a great product. So, yeah, I can be happy and excited for once in a live stream without being all negative and stuff. So I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, you're causing a lot of FOMO, man. You're causing a lot of FOMO.
Yeah,
people are gonna want this thing now.
Hopefully, I definitely get it. Yeah, for all the things you can do with it, I think it's definitely worth it. I mean, I kind of feel like it's the one separate arcade deck to rule them all if you just want to play games. But if you want the look and you want all that and you want to have 15 arcades or more, then okay. But I don't know. I just like being able to play the games authentically, the way they were meant to be played.
So you're saying there's online matches, like I could walk up to an arcade at Street Fighter, for example, and then somebody else could walk up next to me and play this thing in VR.
Well, that's where it's going. The VR, I'm not sure. Like the VR software is constantly updating and stuff, and there's gonna be multiplayer options where you can have like there's already James. I think there's already a way where you can create the rooms and then invite other people in who have the ability to, and then they can play games together and stuff.
So in VR, I could have an arcade that's bigger than 19K Fox's. I'd be like, oh, I got a better arcade than 19K Fox, and I have like no money.
And plus, what I was talking to you about was the arcade time capsule from my friend Half Deck, who's doing who's got it's like a Galloping Ghost style arcade in VR, where you literally walk up to the machines. They're all there. It looks exactly like a real arcade. Gamer Fridge. Yeah, currently the software for the X Arcade VR program is janky, but the program that I'm talking about it literally is like having the real arcade at home without having to go to an actual arcade.
So it's okay. So we're still in the beta testing phase of it, like kind of like AI.
that software, that current software, yeah. But I mean, it's going to get there. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to get worse. It's only going to get better. It's only going to, So
the Tank Stick works in VR now too.
They renamed it Tank Stick VR. Okay, cool.
Because the one you got is the different model that was designed specifically for being able to do VR, I think. Right?
Yeah, it works with VR, and then it works with all the other great stuff. Works with all the other consoles and computers and whatever you can connect it to. I'm sure. Wow. I don't know.
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna demo this tomorrow?
Well, my camera is horrible, but I am gonna at least play through Super Street Fighter on the 3DO while I talk about it, because it's a phenomenal.
Are you gonna use the trackball?
Yeah, I mean, I'll show the track. I'll show the trackball, of course. The trackballs are great. The trackball is a selling point. But you know all about the trackball because you got it in your iArcade. So
what kind of joysticks are in it?
They're very high quality buttons and sticks. I will say that. I'm not 100% sure what they are, but they are way higher quality than anything Arcade 1-Up or Act Games uses. I can tell you that right now.
That's not hard. But yeah, they gotta be, right?
Oh yeah. They're definitely good.
They're
very competent. Let's just say when I'm playing fighting games, when I'm playing Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, I have absolutely no complaints. And yes, James hates everything. I did find the bat tops hidden underneath. It comes with bat tops. And so you can replace the balls with bat tops for fighting games and stuff if you prefer that. But I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. It's just such a fun experience. And it comes with all these different, the gate switchers if you want to, switch it out for 4-way or, 8-way, whatever. It's got so many different options. It's ridiculous.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. We're at 7:55. So I guess the guy parting words, Odd Rider?
X Arcade is where it's at. That's all I got to say. Pow pow.
I guess this video on the other side of the screen, the Zod Rider side of the screen, is sponsored by X Arcade.
Oh, for sure.
My side of the screen is sponsored by Zevia. All right, have a good night. Appreciate you all for coming out. Can't wait to talk next week. Hopefully something exciting will happen and all that good stuff. And I'm trying to find my exit video. Boom.